who don't know what an SI is a statement of information. A statement of information is when the people, it's a long form, it's about 8.5 by 14. It's given to you by escrow. They need to, the seller of the property has to fill it out. They fill out their names and address and phone numbers, their name of their spouses, their social security, the places where they live in the last 10 years, the occupancy that they had in the the work that they had in the last 10 years, etc., etc. With that, the title company or the title unit runs a search, a background search on the person, you may say, and they found out if they have any liens against their personal being or their properties. For example, tax and IRS liens, child support, alimony, and things like that. Now, most of you guys, and this is for general transactions as well as short sales, to be honest with you, most of us as a real estate agent, and I was a real estate agent, we get the SI with the escrow instructions at the beginning of escrow, and we wait like until the last week to get it submitted and do the background check. And guess what? At the last week, they realized that they have a child support lien of $16,000, and now that is a problem. My advice is that you run the SI as soon as you take the short sale package. Run the SI, okay? That's my advice to you. Another question that I got during the meeting is, when is going to be my next class here? My next class is going to be in a month from today, in June 17th. I think it's Friday, June 17th. It's going to be at the same time, and you're welcome to come. But if you do come, please send me an email and let me know that you're coming so we don't schedule more people, because the room, as you see, is not that large. Let's see what else. Somebody asked me also about the buyer's class. The buyer's class is a 7-hour training, as a matter of fact, regarding dealing with buyers, from how to prospect for buyers all the way across to closing the transaction and getting referrals from buyers. So it's all the way across. I was asked to do it by the people that are actually been training with me in this seminar. And I came to do it this past Monday, and I think it was a great seminar, if you don't mind me saying. I would repeat it if I can get enough people to come. So if you guys are interested, just let me know, and then we'll put it together and we'll come. Like Chuck said, it's up to them really, because I'm using this room for free from them. So, okay, so.
What class is on the 17th then?
The 17th is this one. It's the loan modification and short sale. Yeah.
Could you maybe get a show of hands on the buyer's seminar? I think
buyer's seminar, show of hands. Who's interested?
Let's do it.
Wow, you're a good closing agent. I need somebody like that in my team. Okay. All right. So pitfall number 1 is the liens against the property. Like I said, run the SI, find out what the liens against the property are. Pitfall number 2 is the property taxes. If they're not impounded and you don't tell the lender that they have to pay for those property taxes, your transaction is not going to close, or they're going to take that money from your commission, and that's just not fair. Okay, next one, pitfall number 3. Find the HOA fees. There is really no easy way to get how much is owed against the HOA. Remember, if they're not making their payment, they're not paying the HOAs either, because the HOAs is part of their payment that they're making. And HOA, as I may refer to them, they are the devils from hell. Okay? I have seen HOA companies not releasing a lien against the person for $300. They rather foreclose on the property, or let the people foreclose on the property if they don't get paid their money. Their money has to be paid every single time. They will not let you go through the transaction without that money being paid. Now, how much is it going to be? Well, that really depends on how long they haven't been making the payments. If their HOA fees is $200 a month and they haven't made their payments in 6 months, that's $1,200. It may not be a lot of money, but believe me, ultimately when you're trying to close the transaction, $1,200 is a lot of money. The seller doesn't want to bring the money, the lender doesn't want to bring the money, and then you are going to end up eating it if you don't see this up front. As a matter of fact, this is a good thing that I want you to remember. When you're doing the financial sheet, and considering the fact that your transaction will not probably close within the next 3 months, I want you to pad those numbers a little bit. Like if they're all $1,200, maybe you want to say $2,000, because you know there's going to be a certain amount of months that are going to transfer before you can close the transaction. You want to make sure that there's enough money in there. Once again, I remind you, the investor, the negotiator, once they get an approval from the investor for a certain amount, they don't want to go back and request another amount. They really don't. They don't like it because it's more work for them, okay? And they're not gonna like you for that. So HOAs, how do you know how much is owed to the HOA? You have to contact the homeowners association and get it from them. And they're so bad that they will charge you anywhere between $65 to $90 just to send you a payoff demand, just to send you a letter explaining, telling you how much is owed. If I were you, if the seller doesn't want to pay it, and I oftentimes tell the seller that they have to pay for it, if the seller doesn't want to pay it, I would actually send the money and pay it myself, because this is something that I need to get done, all right? Okay, that's pitfall number 3. Okay, those are the 3 pitfalls more important that you need to remember. Number 6, you need to find out what the market value is of the property, because they're going to ask you in the application, what is your current market value? Don't spend 3 hours and a half doing a CMA, for God's sakes. It doesn't matter. The lender is going to tell you how much they want for the property ultimately. Even if you submit an offer, they'll counter back and tell you exactly how much they want. So what you do, you just go to Zillow, cyberhomes.com, whatever website you use, and put the property address. In less than 30 seconds, you know more or less what the market value is. That's basically that. Don't spend 2 hours doing a CMA. It makes no difference. At this point, you already know the following information. All of this information I've given you right now, step number 3 to 6, is to do the financial sheet. That's what it is to do the financial sheet, okay? You need the property address. You need to know how many liens against the property and how much is owed. You need to know how much they owe in property taxes, how much they owe in HOA fees, the current range market value for the home, their complete income and expenses based on the documents you collected, and now it's time to get the financial statement. I had to add an extra step, which is step number 7A. And step number 7A is that you need to give a copy of the financial statement to the homeowner, because now the homeowner is required to call HAFA themselves to give the financials over the phone. They no longer accept them from us. They need to give the financials. So make sure that you tell the homeowner, this is the questions they're going to ask you. Once you fill out the financial sheet, this is the questions they're going to ask you. And those are the questions they're going to ask them. What is your income? How much you pay for utilities, and so on and so forth. Those are the questions. And the homeowner, all they have to do is call the number you're going to give them. You're going to give them that phone number. Once you submit the package, you will receive a message back saying the homeowner needs to call this number. And they're going to give you a specific number to call. So you need to give them that number. They already have the financial sheet in their hand, and they need to call HAFA and go over the financials. Just tell them, answer the questions in honesty with whatever it says on the page. That's what you need to answer, and that's it. I actually had a conversation recorded because the homeowner was there and he didn't want to talk to the people, and I said, okay, I'm going to speak for you, so I'm going to speak on your behalf. So I had the HAFA people on the phone when they answered the phone, and it was the funniest thing. I called the guy and he says, well, we were told that we need to call in to give the financials over the phone. And he said, oh yeah. He says, it was funny, his attitude too, because he's like, oh, you want to do a short sale? And I said, yeah, we want to do a short sale. Oh, great, I can help you with that. Okay, great. I'm like, man, you must be getting a lot of bonuses doing short sales, because you're way too happy for that, you know. So we went over the conversation, and he said, well, what is the name? What is the social security? What is the property address? And so on and so forth. So I gave him that information. And he says, well, what is your income? I gave him the income. He says, well, how much for utilities? How much for this and that? And he went over the list, and I gave him all the information. And then he said, okay, you're done. And I'm like, that's it? And he's like, yeah, that's it. I'm like, great. So what do we do now? Oh, no, you don't have to do anything. I already put you in the system as HAFA. All you have to do is send the documents in. That was it. I mean, it wasn't complicated. It's pretty simple. And they're really, really nice people. They're really, really nice people for the most part.
So you send this package to the bank, like let's say Bank of America, you send it to HAFA.
Okay, here's the question. Do you send the package to HAFA or do you send it to the bank? You upload it in the system. All the banks have now systems. They have Equator system. Wells Fargo has their own system. ASC has their own system. Another question that I was asked prior to this is the following. Can you, as real estate agents, do the negotiation? I already said yes. You can do the negotiation yourself. But why would you want to? I mean, it's a lot of work. You know, you have to email the documents or e-fax the documents, or you have to upload them in their system, whatever. And you need to constantly follow up. It's just a lot of wasted time. I highly recommend that you find somebody to do the negotiations for you. I am not saying use Rita or Ruth or any of my negotiators. I'm not saying that. I'm not here to push them into your life. All I'm saying is find yourself a good negotiator to do negotiation on your files.
So we give the package to negotiate?
Absolutely.
Have nothing to do with it?
Absolutely.
Oh.
You give the package to the negotiator and you don't do anything else, basically. Yes. All right. So that's number 7. Number 8, hardship letter. Do the hardship letter. You already know how to do it. Number 9, if it's HAFA, submit the package to your negotiator, of course. List the property in the MLS. Okay, here's my advice regarding MLS. List the property in the MLS for a certain price. If you don't get an offer, and this is for if you want to submit an offer with your package. If you want to submit an offer, because sometimes they ask you for an offer, although they shouldn't, but I just don't fight it, because I'm like, you know what, if I send you the offer, are you going to shut up and just move it forward? And they say yes, so I just send the offer, okay? So if you need to send an offer, put it in the MLS. If you don't get an offer within a day, lower the price. If you don't get an offer within 2 days, lower the price again. If you don't get an offer within 3 days, lower the price again. Lower the price until you get an offer. Once you got an offer, put it in pending. Put it in pending, because all you need is one offer. That's all you need. I have agents in my office who put the property in the MLS, and they come to me and they say, well, I haven't submitted the package. Why? Because I don't have an offer. How long ago? 14 days. You have the property 14 days in the MLS and you don't have an offer yet? You're not moving forward because the property, you haven't received an offer. That's not a good excuse. Get that offer in. All you need is one offer. Once you put it, and then once you get the offer, put it in pending. And that's exactly what I said. In the private remarks, you may want to write something of the sort. This is a short sale, sold as is. All you have to do here, by the way, is copy and paste it. Okay, copy and paste it into your private remarks. Final price, commission, seller concessions, term, my home warranty, etc. will be determined by the lender and may not be paid by the lender or seller, and never by the listing agent. Do not call...
Bravo!
I know, and I'll tell you how that happened. Do not call the occupant, sight unseen only. I don't need to make appointments. Make an offer subject to interior inspection. You know, and when we get the half approval, I'm going to counter you back anyway. Make an offer, sight unseen, make an offer subject to interior inspection. I put this in brackets because I asked the attorney at the Board of Realtors if I can put this in there, and he said, well, I cannot tell you not to put it, he said, because there's nothing against it, but we don't like that you put things like that when it comes to compensations and stuff in the private remarks. So it's really up to you if you want to put it or not, but we never had any problem because, like I said, it's not illegal, they just don't like it. Selling agent to pay $250 for short sale coordinator. Any questions, do not call. Please do not call me. I receive 58 phone calls a day. There's no way that I can answer your phone calls. Send us an email, and I have a generic email that I use for that, and we will promptly respond within 24 hours. If it's an emergency, call the office and leave a message. We will answer within a few hours. If it's active, it is available, basically, all right? Now, why this came out, never the listing agent. I got tired. You know, my wife is a real estate agent, and we list a lot of short sale properties, right? I got tired at the end of the transaction when the buyer needed to do an extra little something on the property, and all of a sudden I have the selling agent, and I'm sorry for you selling agents and listing agents in the house, and the selling agent will come to me and say, well, you know, we need an extra $900 to finalize the termite. Can we split it 3 ways? Guess what? No, we can't. Because guess what? We work really hard for our money. It is not fair that we have to pay for this. Let me explain you what happened. So we have this transaction. In Canyon Country, and the agent sent us a message saying the appraiser went into the house and he said that there's a deck in the back that is built not up to code, and we need to remove it. And it's cost $900. And I want to know if you want to split it with me for $150 and $450. And my answer to that was, no, I don't want to split it with you. Tell your borrower to pay for it. Then she came back with another email, and she said, well, I talked to my borrower. My borrower says he doesn't want to pay for it, and if he doesn't pay for it, we can move forward on this transaction. My answer back was, okay, great. Send me a cancellation. We'll cancel and get another buyer. She sent me another email. Well, how about if we split it 3 ways? No, we're not going to split it 3 ways. And so on and so forth. You know, my final email was like this. The final email that we sent her was like this. Listen, if your buyer is not willing to spend $900 to make their future house safe for them and their families, they shouldn't buy a home. Why should I pay for something that they're going to enjoy? Why should I pay for something that is their house? I'm not going to live in the house. Why should I pay to make it better? And I said, if they're not willing to pay for that money, tell them not to buy the house. And I can get another offer like tomorrow, okay? And then I think that made the deal, because she sent me an email back and she said, okay, he said he's going to pay for it. Okay, great. You know, yeah, I got tired of people just trying to get us to pay from our commissions, you know, money for everything. You know, it's not fair. I mean, we work really hard for our money. What do they think, that we make tons of money all the time? It's not like that. You know, it's not like that. So that's just my 2 cents in there, my little ranting.
Why the comment selling agent to pay $250 for short sale coordinator?
Because my short sale coordinator charges $500, and
So
we
you're
pay
saying,
$250 and $250.
Okay.
50-50.
So why not say buying agent to pay $250 for short sale?
Because the name of the selling agent is the correct
That
name.
explains it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, next one. Once you get one offer, put the house in pending. Okay, here's another thing that I disagree with for some of you listing agents that are doing short sales. And you may disagree with me all you want tonight. That's fine with me.
Oh, yeah.
When we get an offer on a property, when we get the first offer on the property, we automatically put it on pending. And I get this agent, the other day, this agent was really frustrated because she got 21 offers in one property. And I'm like, are you kidding me? 21, why you didn't put it on pending? And she says, no, because I'm trying to get the best offer for the bank. And like, are you kidding me? The bank doesn't care. They're making tons of money on the incentives that the government is paying. What do they care whether you get an offer $10,000 higher than the other offer? And 21 offers, you know what it is to review 21 offers and sign the rejections on 21 offers? It's crazy, because you have to present them, right? You cannot just ignore them. You have to present them, right? This is what I said. Number one, we put it in pending once we get one offer. Because another thing is this. You as a listing agent, you're not doing the selling agents any favor by having a property active when you already have 20 offers against that property. Because their chances of getting that property is going to be very, very slim. And you know what? Gas money is expensive. Gas is expensive right now. And you're showing properties to people that they say they're active and they already have 20 offers on them. You're just wasting your time. So I don't think it's fair. I think the listing agents should put the properties as pending as soon as they get an offer. That's what I think, okay? Stop wasting everybody else's time and money. That's what I say. Amen. So for amen to that. Yes, sir. Woo! Amen. Woo! Okay. All right, so you got that. Okay, so you got all the package completed and signed, the DOD frank, the 4506, the listing forms, the documents are collected, the hardship letter is written, the financial statement is filled out. The offer has been received if you have an offer. Now, if you have an offer, you need to have a hot one, which is kind of simple. All you have to do is bring the listing agreement and the purchase agreement to your escrow officer, and she will be more than happy to give you a hot one, okay? And then you need to send all of those forms to your negotiator, whoever that may be. And I said, sit back and relax. Just kidding. Don't relax. Go get another one, okay? Because from that point forward, your negotiator is going to take care of the entire transaction. Waiting period. During the waiting period, from the time you send the package to your negotiator to the time you get an acceptance for the short sale, which is going to be 30 or 60 days, whatever that is, do open houses, send postcards, post ads in the penny saver, try to gather your own offers on the property, promote it in websites, all in case the buyer that submitted the offer that you have in file is not there or may not be interested when you get the counter offer from the bank. During this time, you keep yourself posted throughout the process, etc., etc. And the reason why I say that is because try to get your own buyers, double in transactions, you know, as much as you can. You'll double your income with half, you know, the effort, basically. Now, that doesn't mean that when you get the counter offer, you're not going to counter back the agent who submitted an offer, and because that's just fair. You should counter back to the agent to the amount that the bank is going to counter you back for. And I don't know what that amount is going to be. Write it down. Okay, next one. Okay, you got approval. Short sale approval. Short sale approval. You got approval. Yay! Finally, you know exactly how much the lender wants for the property, because to this point, you really don't know. You submitted an offer or not submitted an offer. You really don't know how much they want for the property. You need to get the buyer in, and you need to get them right away. After you get an acceptance, you usually get 30 days to open escrow and move along with the transaction. And you will get some extensions along the way. And this is my 5-second commercial. For fast approvals, ask your Gem Mortgage representative. Okay, offer found, got an offer, send it to your negotiator, and from here forward, your transaction will move along just like any other transaction. Your escrow officer, title officer, etc. is going to help you move along the transaction. Okay, you got 30 days to close. Yes, you can request extension. Yes, you can request extensions, but be mindful that if you request too many extensions, they're going to punish you. They have a certain amount of net that they need to make on certain amount of time. If you go over that time, they're going to ask for an extra mortgage payment. And an extra mortgage payment could represent $5,000, $6,000. You know what I'm saying? So be mindful that if you ask for too many extensions, they may increase the amount of money that they require. And if that happens, you need to have the buyer, because the seller's not going to pay for it and you're not going to pay for it. You need to make sure that the buyer understands that you're giving them a certain amount of time to close this transaction. If they cannot close the transaction during that period of time, you are going to charge them extra money for that. And the buyer can bring the money cash, or they can increase the purchase price. Will be the obvious thing to do, would be to increase the purchase price so the bank can net a little bit more. All right. So this is the recap for the step-by-step. Step number 1, talk to the people, tell them what you need from them. Step number 2, collect their information. Step number 3, 4, 5, and 6, fill out the liens against the property, taxes is owed, HOA fees and market value. Number 7, fill out the financial statement. Number 8, the hardship letter. 9, put the property in the MLS. 10, prepare the Hot 1. 11, send the complete package to your negotiator. 12, try to find your own buyer. 13, approval received, get an offer, and the bank is going to send you a form called the RAS that you need to fill out, and that's okay. Your negotiator can do that too. Open escrow, and then number 15, follow up, close escrow, get paid, pay the bills, and save some money for marketing materials. I always say that you have to save some money for marketing materials. Those are the steps. They're not complicated. This is a step-by-step system. That's why I call it the short sale step-by-step. I have used the system. Some of you may think about it and say, well, does it really work that way? It does. It's as simple as that. It's not complicated as long as you have a step-by-step system. This is the system I have used for 3 years, and to this date, it has not failed me yet. Never. Okay, this is the system. All right, challenging the price. Well, some of you will have a property in which you will receive a counter offer from the bank saying that they want more money than the house is worth. How do you counter that? Well, first of all, you shouldn't have received that counter offer for a higher price, because if you were a little bit proactive, I didn't put it in there, but I'm going to tell you verbally. If you were a little bit proactive, when the VPO agent calls you to set up an appointment to go visit the property, you should meet with the VPO agent and give him some comparables and give him the market value that you want the house to be. Who are VPO agents? The real estate agents like you and me. They're just real estate agents. The VPO is a broker price opinion. It's an opinion of value. That doesn't mean that they're right. That doesn't mean that they're right. So if they call you that they want to make an appointment, or they call you to for whatever reason, sometimes they call you, sometimes they don't. But if they call you, try to meet with them and try to give them, or can you give me your fax number so I can send you some information regarding the property? If you're looking for a lower value, explain the reasons why you're looking for a lower value, and sometimes they will help you. Now, if that all fails, I always say location matters and condition matters. Let me go to conditions first, because I don't have an actual example for that. Condition matters in the sense of the following. My cousin works with investors who flip properties. That's what she does. She works with investors that flip properties. Investors that want to purchase property at 45 cents on the dollar, 50 cents on the dollar. Do you agree with me on that?
Yes.
Yes, right? Now, she goes to a property, and the property, let me give you an example. A property was worth $390,000 or $400,000. She submitted an offer for like $180,000. I mean, what are the chances that she can get an offer approved at $180,000, right? Well, she came over, she hired a home inspector to go on inspection of the property. The home inspector came in, they took pictures of everything. The swimming pool was green. Most swimming pools are green after nobody takes care of them. One of the other things that happened is that there's a leak. There's a big leak in the master bedroom, and the wall was filled with mold. And mold is a big problem in California, right? Environmental hazards, cancer, you know, you name it. Really, really bad. That's exactly what she said. And then she got a contractor to give her a bid and said to the contractor, hey, you know what? Whatever the cost is for the repairs, I want you to double the cost. I'm like, okay. And the contractor's like, sure, fine, no problem. So she got a bid for like $80,000 worth of repairs and all of these things. She sent it over to the bank and she negotiated. I think she got it back for $230,000. I mean, it was like $200,000 less, you know. Condition is important. If the banks see a property that is in really, really bad shape, that when they turn around and they foreclose the property, they're not going to be able to sell it for 11 months because nobody's willing to buy it because the condition is really, really bad, they might as well just accept the offer. You understand what I'm saying? That is the point. Now, the second part of it is location. And when it comes to location, oh, Christ. When it comes to location, 1 second, please. Christ, give me 1 second. When it comes to location, I want to show you a little video that I did for that. Give me 1 second. Let me just pull it out from here. I hope I can get it fast enough. If I click, the link supposedly goes in, but for some reason it didn't. Then I should have done this here. Video's private. Jeez. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is a story regarding this property. We had this property listed for sale for $700,000. We got an offer for $650,000. The property is really nice. The bank countered back at $750,000, $100,000 more than the property was actually worth, right? We fight with the negotiator for 3 months to get the price down, and she wouldn't. And we did open houses, and we did flyers, and we promoted the property, I mean, every single weekend, and we couldn't get any offer higher than $650,000. The highest offer we got was $650,000. We had a few of $630,000, $620,000. All right. Finally, one day I said to my wife, you know what, let me go and make a video. And that's what I did. I went to make a video, and this is the video that I'm going to show you so you can see what I did. And I sent that video over to the negotiator. This is for property 8121 Valley View Avenue in the city of Buena Park. Really, one of the challenges that I was trying to explain to you back in the office with marketing this property is the fact that this home is sitting right across from a major avenue such as Valley View. There's a lot of traffic on this, in front of this property, almost 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As you can see now, it's not even rush hour, and there's a lot of cars going by, and the noise is really annoying. You can hear it in the background probably. It gets really, really loud in here. As you can see, there's a lot of rigs going by too, and the reason why is because there's a distribution facility around the block from here, and that's one of the major challenges we had when marketing this property. So I don't know if the BPO took that into consideration or not, but you should take into consideration that, and also the fact that the property is sitting across other homes that are older, that are built back in the 1960s, and there's also a lot of foreclosure activity, as you probably know. So those are things to consider when considering the value for this home. Okay, so we sent over that video to the negotiator, yes, and let me cancel that for 1 second. Okay, we sent that video to the negotiator. Within 3 weeks, we got a counter back for $700,000, $50,000 decrease, and we talked to the buyers, and they decided to go $50,000 higher, so we were able to close the transaction. I asked the negotiator, after we finished, I had a really good relationship with this lady, and I asked the negotiator, I said, listen, I said, how come I fought with you for 3 months to reduce the price and you didn't want to do it, and then 3 weeks later you sent the reduction? And this is what she said. She said, Ronnie, I am not going to reduce you $50,000 just because you ask. I need to have proof of why I'm giving you the reduction. I need to cover my assets. That's what she said. And that is the truth. That is the truth. Negotiators are not going to give you a reduction of $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 just because you ask. You have to present proof. Location matters. Conditional